This is how I screen print using my Cricut, bringing my clothes like this to this. And what you'll need is a paint roller, fabric paint, cardboard, embroidery hoop, organza fabric, Cricut, and the tool, the clothing, an iron, and an iPad. So I'm showing how I turn my sketches, like paper sketches, into something I can use on my Cricut app. And I start out with just trying to mess with the hues so that I can make the background all white as I can get it to be, with the print still showing, or drawing still showing. And I'm just trying to erase anything that's not supposed to show. And then go to gradient map and then make everything black so it's easier to see. And then I go in and just erase all the little pieces that weren't supposed to be there. And then here I'm just adding more to the design so that it doesn't feel so empty and blank. Then I put that file into Magic Eraser, and this is where you're going to turn the drawing transparent. And I just go in and try to erase as much as the negative space as I could. And then start up your Cricut. Connect to it, something I always forget to do. And then erase your old one. Put the picture into your Cricut app, erase any extra pieces that may have, still slipped. And measure with your hands how big you want the print to be, and then make it however big that is. So for me, I was looking at the top being 7 inches, and then just so that I could fill the entire 12 by 12, I printed a couple more things and adjusted it. Make sure it's on iron-on and it's flipped or mirrored. Then I'm just measuring out the iron-on vinyl and make sure it's shiny side down. And just cut that bad boy up. Once that's done printing out, you're just going to want to start cutting. And this is my Soto Gang tray that I use to pick up all the little things I pick out. And basically just going to want to pick out anything that you want to be printed. And I just use the regular picking tool, tweezers, and a razor. And after that is when you're going to iron it onto the organza fabric. And I've set my setting to basically like 80%. For my iron, and measure out the organza fabric to where it's bigger than the embroidery hoop, and then repeat for all the other prints. And I usually like to cut off a piece of the plastic off the corner before I iron on, so it's easier to peel the plastic off. And basically, so my quote-unquote ironing board is kind of weird, and since the organza fabric is really thin, I think that's why the vinyl starts sticking to the ironing board itself. So I would say, depending on what kind you have, peel it up just to be sure so it doesn't actually like stick. But anyway, the best time to peel the plastic off is while the vinyl is warm. Don't peel it while it's hot, and don't peel it when it's cold. So you can see me going back and forth, like I waited or aired it out a little too long to where it got too cold and it started sticking to the plastic when I'd peel it up. So you could fix it by just going in with the iron again. And then I also like to peel off or cut off some of the plastic so it doesn't re-stick whenever I have to do it again. But here I got the perfect temperature, so I'm just peeling it off perfectly. But yeah, that's what it should look like. And then first you want to put the embroidery hoop down, and then the screen print, and then close it up and tighten it halfway, and then pull it so the fabric gets taut, and then tighten it in. And cut most of the excess off, but leave a little bit so that you can put it back on later if you decide to take it out and make a new print. And that's done. You have the screen print now. Next, you'll need the fabric paint, and I use an old canvas, but otherwise just something to roll your paint roller on, and the clothing and the cardboard I mentioned earlier. You'll put the cardboard wherever you want the print. It's basically just going to keep the other side from getting paint on it. And yeah, just roll it on. And what's crazy is this amount of paint actually printed on about, I would say, 20 other shirts. You really don't even need that much. Just like get enough paint, no, not a lot, literally just cover the roller and roll it on, and be gentle to not get it on the edges. But if your print doesn't have enough border, you can block the edges off with acrylic paint as well. Give it like about 24 hours to fully dry, and you can just keep repeating this process till you're happy with how it looks. And I like the imperfections because it feels real. You can tell I did it. But anyway, and then to clean off the screen print, just rinsing it with water works perfectly fine. Just make sure there's no paint in the part that got printed so it doesn't dry into it. And last step though, just iron it on just to keep it really cemented into the fabric. I basically go about a minute per section, per paint section I guess, and otherwise that's it. And this is actually what I do as a business. I put my art prints onto clothes, and if you liked any of the art or thought anything I made was cool, I'll have my link tree in the description. So yeah, check it out if you want. See what's up.